Ra. I am Ra. I greet you in the love and in the light of the infinite Creator. Before we communicate by answer, we shall correct an error which we have discovered in the transmission of our information to you. We have difficulty dealing with your time-space. There may again be errors of this type. Feel free to question us that we may recalculate in your time-space measurements. The error we have discovered concerns one of the arrivals of both the Orion group into your planetary sphere of influence and the corresponding arrival of emissaries of the Confederation. We gave dates of 2600-2600 years for the Orion entry, 2300-2300 for Confederation entry. This is incorrect. The recalculation indicates numbers 3600-3600 for Orion entry, 3300-3300 for Confederation entry. We communicate now. Questioner. Thank you very much. I would like to say again that we consider it a great honor, privilege, and duty to be able to do this particular work. I would like to reiterate that some of my questions may seem irrelevant at times, but I am trying to ask them in a manner so as to gain a foothold into the application of the Law of One. We are now in the fourth density. Will the effects of the fourth density increase in the next 30 years? Will we see more changes in our environment and our effect upon our environment? Ra. I am Ra. The fourth density is a vibrational spectrum. Your time-space continuum has spiraled your planetary sphere and your, what we would call galaxy, what you call star, into this vibration. This will cause the planetary sphere itself to electromagnetically realign its vortices of reception of the in-streaming of cosmic forces expressing themselves as vibrational webs, so that the Earth will thus be fourth density magnetized, as you might call it. This is going to occur with some inconvenience, as we have said before, due to the energies of the thought forms of your peoples which disturb the orderly constructs of energy pattern within your Earth's spirals of energy, which increases entropy and unusable heat. This will cause your planetary sphere to have some ruptures in its outer garment, while making itself appropriately magnetized for fourth density. This is the planetary adjustment. You will find a sharp increase in the number of people, as you call mind-body-spirit complexes, whose vibrational potentials include the potential for fourth vibrational distortions. Thus, there will seem to be, shall we say, a new breed. These are those incarnating for fourth density work. There will also be a sharp increase in the short run of negatively oriented or polarized mind-body-spirit complexes and social complexes, due to the polarizing conditions of the sharp delineation between fourth density characteristics and third density self-service orientation. Those who remain in fourth density upon this plane will be of the so-called positive orientation. Many will come from elsewhere, for it would appear that with all of the best efforts of the Confederation, which includes those from your people's inner planes, inner civilizations, and those from other dimensions, the harvest will still be much less than that which this planetary sphere is capable of comfortably supporting in service. Questioner. Is it possible by the use of some technique or other to help an entity to reach fourth density level in these last days? Ra. I am Ra. It is impossible to help another being directly. It is only possible to make catalyst available in whatever form, the most important being the radiation of realization of oneness with the Creator, from the self, less important being information such as we share with you. We, ourselves, do not feel an urgency for this information to be widely disseminated. It is enough that we have made it available to 3, 4, or 5. This is extremely ample reward, for if one of these obtains fourth density understanding due to this catalyst, then we shall have fulfilled the Law of One in the distortion of service. We encourage a dispassionate attempt to share information without concern for numbers or quick growth among others. That you attempt to make this information available is, in your terms, your service. The attempt, if it reaches one, reaches all. We cannot offer shortcuts to enlightenment. Enlightenment as of the moment is an opening to intelligent infinity. It can only be accomplished by the self, for the self. Another self cannot learn enlightenment, but only learn information, inspiration, or a sharing of love, of mystery, of the unknown, that makes the other self reach out and begin the seeking process that ends in a moment, but who can know when an entity will open the gate to the present? Questioner. In meditation I got the question about the crater in Russia. In the, I believe, Tunguska region. Can you tell me what caused the crater? Ra. I am Ra. The destruction of a fission reactor caused this crater. Questioner. Whose reactor, Ra? I am Ra. This was what you may call a drone sent by Confederation which malfunctioned. It was moved to an area where its destruction would not cause infringement upon the will of mind-body-spirit complexes. It was then detonated. Questioner. What was its purpose in coming here? Ra. It was a drone designed to listen to the various signals of your peoples. You were, at that time, beginning work in a more technical sphere. We were interested in determining the extent and the rapidity of your advances. This drone was powered by a simple fission motor or engine, as you would call it. It was not that type which you now know, but was very small. However, it has the same destructive effect upon third-density molecular structures. Thus, as it malfunctioned, we felt it was best to pick a place for its destruction rather than attempt to retrieve it, for the possibility-probability modes of this maneuver looked very, very minute. Questioner. Was its danger both blast and radiation? Ra. I am Ra. There is very little radiation, as you know of it, in this particular type of device. There is radiation which is localized, but the localization is such that it does not drift with the winds as does the emission of your somewhat primitive weapons. Questioner. I believe that analysis has detected very little radiation in the trees in this area. Is this low level of radiation a result of what you are speaking of? Ra. I am Ra. This is correct. The amount of radiation is very localized. However, the energy which is released is powerful enough to cause difficulties. Questioner. Then was the Confederation responsible for the Earth receiving nuclear power? Ra. I am Ra. It is a point which one cannot judge. What is cause? The basic equation which preceded this work was an equation brought through by a wanderer dedicated to service to the planet. That this work should have become foundation for instruments of destruction was not intended, and was not given. Questioner. Can you tell me who that wanderer was who brought through the equation? Ra. I am Ra. This information seems harmless, as this entity is no longer of your planetary third density. This entity was named Sound Vibration Complex, Albert? Questioner. Thank you. Can you tell me who was the entity before his incarnation on Earth, known as Jesus of Nazareth? Ra. I am Ra. I have difficulty with this question, as it is phrased. Can you discover another form for this query? Questioner. Yes. What I meant to say was, can you tell me if Jesus of Nazareth came from the Confederation before incarnation here? Ra. I am Ra. The one known to you as Jesus of Nazareth did not have a name. This entity was a member of fifth density of the highest level of that suboctave. This entity was desirous of entering this planetary sphere in order to share the love vibration in as pure a manner as possible. Thus, this entity received permission to perform this mission. This entity was the Wanderer, of no name, of Confederation origins, of fifth density, representing the fifth density understanding of the vibration of understanding or love. Questioner. Did you say the fifth vibration was that of love? Ra. I am Ra. I have made an error. The fourth density being is that which we intended to say, the highest level of fourth density going into the fifth. This entity could have gone on to the fifth but chose instead to return to third for this particular mission. This entity was of the highest suboctave of the vibration of love. This is fourth density. Questioner. When I am communicating with you as Ra, are you at times individualized as an entity, or am I speaking to an entire social memory complex? Ra. I am Ra. You speak with Ra. There is no separation. You would call it a social memory complex, thus indicating manyness. To our understanding, you are speaking to an individualized portion of consciousness.